Hello and welcome to another Dino review. This one featuring some historic hopefuls, cards I've used in Pioneer, Modern, but some of my top picks that may be in a historic anthology, but I think they're doing away with those. Something else that maybe will bring these cards to the format. Pretty exciting stuff. Starting off with some of my favorite lands that hopefully come in. Cinder Glade. You guys may know this card, but being a typing, mountain and forest, that's pretty fantastic to help Rootbound Crag come into play untapped. It's a little rough when you're going into three colors, but for the most part, I do love Gruul a little bit more than Jund. I was on Jund colors a little while there, quite some time, red, green, and black, but if you're in two colors, you can really increase the number of basics. Cinder Glade coming into play untapped shouldn't be too much of a problem. Definitely, I could see this working quite well with ranging raptors, getting a bunch more basics, making sure you get those two basics. But Cinder Glade, 100%. I'd be pretty thrilled, pretty happy if this came in. Moving on to the next one. This may not be a card you guys know of. Oh my goodness. There isn't really anything comparable in other color pairs, but Grove of the Burnwillows. First in Lorwyn, Shadowmoor, I believe. So that's going way, way, way back. My goodness, to the original Kamigawa, that sort of era. But tap to add a colorless, pretty good. Or tap to add one red or one green. Each opponent gains one life. But keep in mind, we have Rampaging Ferocidon, so if we're naturally playing with that, this is a dual land that has zero drawback. Zero. And again, like I mentioned, there isn't really anything else comparable that taps to add either color. Each opponent gains one life. This is unique to Grove of the Burnwillows, so if this came into Historic, I mean, I would just be over the moon. Partly because of the fact of Rampaging Ferocidon making it no drawback, but anytime there's a dual land for Gruul, increasing the consistency comes into play untapped, man, it's going to be a good day. Definitely. Of course, you may have seen my community post mentioning Desert. Had to add that in here for this. Tap, add one colorless to your mana pool, or tap, Desert deals 1 damage to target attacking creature. So it's either you use it on combat during the opponent's turn to maybe take out some creature, some weak creature that is left at 1 toughness, or maybe it started at 1 toughness, something like mono red aggro. Well, there's quite a few things that only have 1. Or you use it on your own turn. You know, maybe you ping Ripjaw Raptor again, tap, draw a card. That's effectively what it does. Ranging Raptors, you could tap, ping Ranging Raptors, get a land, ramp that way. So you get the idea, the potential usefulness, variety of ways you can use this. Again, if you don't really need to tap and deal damage, it's always ramping a little bit with that colorless mana, but specifically with Enrage Dinos, I've loved using this. Before Pioneer or even Historic was a thing, before Arena was even announced, this is and was, well, still is, one of my favorite lands, definitely. Speaking of this time-shifted version, if you can get a foil copy of it, oh my goodness, it's just about one of the most stunning foils I've ever seen. And that art is just something about the art, the sand, everything. Oh, man, it's lovely. It's hard to top the OG Desert. Just saying. Oh, and another time-shifted one. This card, Fire Whip, originally from Weatherlight, I believe. 1 in a red. Enchantment. Enchanted creature has tap. Deal 1 damage to any target. That ruling was a few years back. That was updated. So if it was printed again, it would say this creature deals 1 damage to any target, which pretty fantastic. Chip away, get a nice little clock. If you can't attack, you can always just keep doing damage. But with Enraged Dinos, effectively whoever you slap this on. And in the past, I've loved putting Fire Whip on an Otepic Huntmaster. If you don't need the haste, or the haste potentially is redundant from having Regisaur Alpha out, you make some fantastic use still with the cost reduction of Otepic Huntmaster. But also now you can tap Huntmaster to ping Ripjaw Raptor, ranging raptors, whatever, maybe take out a tiny creature the opponent has, or you can just play it, tap the creature you attach it to, and then you sacrifice Fire Whip to deal 1 more damage. So you're dealing 2 damage, maybe to 1 target. If it's an enraged creature, it's always a fantastic idea, of course, to split up that damage. You get double the enraged triggers there. You could think about Fire Whip in this case as 1 and a red to search for 2 basic lands. 1 and a red, draw 2 cards. That's pretty fantastic, pretty versatile. Or again, just finishing off a creature, continually pinging. Man, I can't sing enough praises about this card. My goodness. And again, a foil version of Fire Whip. Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You see that whip right there, all foiled out, glowing. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Yeah. Oh. Setessan Tactics, 100% from the OG Theros. 1 in a green, instant. Gotta love that. But Strive might be new for some of you guys. Setessan Tactics costs 1 green more to cast for each target beyond the first. 1 green, not too bad. Until end of turn, any number of target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain. Tap. This creature fights another target creature. Oftentimes it's this creature fights another target creature target opponent controls. Oftentimes you don't want to fight your own creatures, but gaining the potential possibility of, say you have 2 Ripjaw Raptors, make them fight each other. Draw 2 cards when they deal damage to each other. Lovely stuff, but the potential of just having fantastic instant speed removal, buffing, and then tapping whoever, maybe Otepic Huntmaster becomes some removal. You pay enough green, you make everybody gain this ability temporarily buffed. You could just buff them all for a bigger swing, do more damage, but being instant speed, turning everything into lovely removal. Again, if there's nothing to fight, you could just fight your own creatures, because you can choose your own creatures, your own enraged dinos. You could perhaps respond to targeted removal. Maybe the opponent is trying to get rid of Ripjaw Raptor, something with enrage. You just ping it, get some extra value from this card if they don't have anything else to fight. I love it. Oh, man, it's fantastic. So much good stuff. Oh, Twinflame. Oh, again, from Theros. 1 in a red. Strive. Again, Twinflame costs 2 in a red more to cast for each target beyond the first. Oftentimes, in the past, I have just cast it for 1 in a red. Very cheap. But choose any number of target creatures you control. For each of them, put a token that's a copy of that creature onto the battlefield. Those tokens have haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. So you can imagine something like Twinflame, 1 in a red. You make a copy of Regisaur Alpha. It has haste. You get that token, which that token wouldn't disappear at the end of the turn. If you have 5, you make 2 Regisaur Alphas, or 2 Carnage Tyrants, or just simply a Carnage Tyrant for 1 in a red. It's hard to top a Carnage Tyrant for that, but you can imagine the potential. If you have 5, 2 copies of whatever the nastiest thing is, Shifting Ceratops, Ripjaw Raptor. Yeah, you get the idea. It can get out of control real quick. I think currently this card is sitting at about 6 US. So there is, maybe it's just used in Commander, but there is some demand for it. Pretty powerful stuff, potential there. That is going to do it, though, for this Dino review, Historic possibilities, hopes, dreams, wishes. Hopefully you enjoyed this again, and of course there's going to be more Dino reviews coming your way, so keep an eye out for that. But wanted again to bring something a little bit special, highlight some cards you may not have heard of or forgotten about, see the potential that Dinos could get if we do get these in Historic. But again, I am planning to play some more in Pioneer, Modern, so I will get to use some of these cards that I know and love. All right, remember, there's always room for improvement, especially with sweet cards like this. So, have a good one. See you next time.